Farlost, created by John Miro. 17. "Can I get a hand, Captain?" Captain Sam Travis looked down through the condensation on his suit's faceplate. Doug had his spacesuited digits wrapped around the bolt gun, shaking it. It seized. Doug's voice continued from speakers in his helmet. Perhaps some moisture was trapped inside before the airlock depressurized. Sam's headset squawked as another voice cut in. "Don't tell me how to keep an airlock, Douglas. I've been keeping ships in the air since you were a pup." "I meant no disrespect, Mr. Gruber," Doug cut in. "You're a fine engineer, sir. However, the equipment you maintain is not currently operating at peak performance." "Ben, Doug, would you kindly shut up?" Both voices subsided after offering quiet, "Yes, captains." Sam made sure his feet were secured to the gantry at the base of the communications array and wrapped his left hand around his right, twisting. A puff of instantly freezing air crystals escaped as he tugged the glove away from his right hand. "He's right, Ben. You can't keep airlocks and comm arrays working without the parts. Let's just focus on getting this gantry turned around so we can check in, so we can do what we came here for." "Sooner we get paid, the sooner we can upgrade things around here," Ben Gruber said in his typical grumpy tone. With the glove secured, Sam reached down with his right hand. His fingers, unencumbered by the glove, were just a touch smaller than the bolt they wrapped around. "Sure, Ben. We'll get you all the machine oil and paint you need to make Betty look like new." With a grunt, he twisted. He felt a crack as the seized bolt relented, then it began to turn beneath his fingers. "Coat of paint looks pretty," Gruber said, "but couldn't we aim a little higher? The airlock's not the only thing that's starting to go." Sam chuckled, his fingers now deftly turning the bolt. It spun free and lifted off into space, but his right hand darted out and grabbed it. He took a minute to look down the body of his ship, the Betty, glowing dully red from the sunlight streaming from behind him. And beyond the ship, filling half his faceplate already, was a splotchy gray and yellow planetoid. Even from a few million miles out, he could see the mountainous spikes reaching out all around the spheroid shape. The gantry began to turn, vibrating up through Sam's legs. "Thank you, Captain," Doug called, his voice tinny and deformed through the old speakers in Sam's old spacesuit. "I can finish the job from here. You should head in before that hand cramps up. I'm not sure Engineer Gruber has any parts on hand for that either." Sam laughed and slapped the shoulder of his first officer's spacesuit. "Agreed. Don't spend too long getting the feed. I want to know if we have any competition before we commit." "We better not have any competition," Gruber muttered on the radio. "We need some fuel, some parts, and some fresh food in the galley PDQ, or I might lead the mutiny myself." Sam didn't respond as he grabbed the joystick floating by his left palm to engage the tiny thrusters on his back. It wasn't any real worry Gruber or anyone on his crew would revolt that kept him quiet. It was the truth behind his engineer's joke. This ship was flying with nothing in reserve. And that was down to Sam. It was his job to see the good ship Betty flying, her engines stoked, and food on the table. Closing in on the open airlock, Sam reached out to slow his approach. With his right hand, he grabbed for one of the slots in the airlock housing, meant to accept hardware from docking ships. Too late, he remembered he'd removed the protective glove to turn a bolt. He came to a jarring stop and looked down. "Shit," he muttered, staring down at the 3-inch slice between thumb and wrist. Some of the polymer sheathing stuck out, ripped free, and his pinky was twitching over and over. The lights in the airlock came on beneath him. "Captain Sam! Captain Sam!" Newark squeaked in his ear. "It's nothing, folks," Sam called out to anyone listening on the open channel. "Just grazed the replacement hand." "Keep using your right hand as a lug wrench," Ben called, "and I'm going to make you wear a hook when you leave the ship." Sam laughed, flipping over and easing himself feet first into the airlock. He waved at the black tentacles flicking in the inner airlock porthole, and then again to his first officer who watched from the gantry. "The buddy system. It's what kept you alive out in the cold." He forced a smile onto his face and gave Doug a thumbs up. Doug's spacesuited form returned his thumbs up with his right arm and all 3 of his right legs. Rotating to face the thorn as he sunk into the airlock, Sam took in the tiny flecks reflecting the silver white of made things and dull red from the sun behind them. Online! Online! Newark called from the inside, and Sam heard his relief in the slap of his tentacles against glass. Sam shared that relief. Doug had completed the repair, and the Betty's comm array was receiving data. The suit's heads-up display came alive, and Sam's last commands played out on the inside glass of his helmet. Charts from 2 different spy satellites overlaid themselves, revealing only one red dot heading to the thorn ahead. The Betty. "Looks like we're in the clear," Sam called out. "Let's go earn our daily bread." Half a dozen voices, human and alien alike, called out as one. "Aye, aye, Captain." Farlost. Music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Learn more at servingworlds.com. Hi, this is John Miro. If you're enjoying Farlost, please consider visiting patreon.com, patreon.com/servingworlds, and lend your support. Be a patron of my fiction. Thank you.